Everybody, so today I'm at Burton's Island and I'm going to be going for a morning paddle. I got here around probably 6:15 because we've been in a really bad heat wave. I know a lot of parts of the country have been. It felt like 105 here yesterday. It's been awful. Today we're going to only reach 93, which you're like, that's still terrible, but it's better than it has been. So I wanted to get out here and kayak. I'm here at Burton's Island in Delaware Seashore State Park. You can hear so many birds in the early morning. I brought my camera. So let's talk for a minute about the Tucktec Pro. So I have had this red Tucktec Pro for 9 months, and one of my viewers recently asked me to kind of give an update. What do I think after 9 months of use? How does the boat look? What's the condition? So let's go over some of that, okay? So I still absolutely love this boat. And this is something I want to point out to people. As you fold and unfold your boat, you're going to start to see these white lines in it. This is not a sign of damage. This is perfectly normal. These are rated for thousands of folds. I do really believe that these are rated for thousands of folds because I have two green 2022 edition kayaks. I tend not to use them as much because the seats were very primitive in those models, but they are still perfectly functional. When we go kayaking, like with my nephews and stuff, I get those out so we have extra boats. But they've been folded and unfolded so many times, they've had no issues. So I do believe that with proper care, the plastic will last. So let's look at the boat a little bit more. So as you can see, the metal's still in really good shape, no issues there. The seat and everything, foam footrest is fine. And then let's flip it over and look at the bottom. So very, very slight scratching. All kind of these rivets and everything are still in great shape. The skeg in the back is in good shape. So let's get out there today. So this is where we're going to be launching from. Nice little spot to launch here. Oh, I don't know if you can see this, but just poking out of the water there's diamondback terrapins that live here in the bay. And they're very, very hard to film because all you'll see is just their little head, and then they go back under when you get close. So another thing I want to briefly talk about is the other day I was getting out of my kayak, folding it back up, and a gentleman said to me, "Hey, do you like those?" And I said, "Yeah, they're fun." And he said, "Yeah, it's all fun until you sink and you're at the bottom of the lake." And I was just like, okay. So for every amazing comment I get about these where people are like amazed by them, I also get some hate about it. And it was kind of funny because the guy that said that to me, he had the most beautiful brand new pickup truck. He had a gorgeous brand new boat, and it's like, dude, wouldn't I love to have a pickup truck and a boat? Sure. But I'm happy I have a kayak. But I never get that. Like, why rain on someone's fun? So we've got a bunch of shorebirds up here that's like laughing gulls. And they're gonna just fly right over us here. How cool is that? So I'm in the bay right now, but because what is so great about this spot, there are these sheltered grassy islands just filled with like mussels and this grass that holds them in place. So I'm able to come out here in the bay in my folding kayak. Oh, the one thing I wanted to point out is, so I love these Want-to-Go paddles. And I always have these in my video description. I bought these in 2022 when I first got my first Tucktec folding kayaks. And I love them because they are adjustable. So when I have my kids, my nephews, my husband, we can get them to the right height for people. And then also your folding kayaks are a little bit wider, so you need a paddle that's going to be adjustable and be wider, and these do the job, and I love them. but I'm having a little bit of a problem with them. So as you can see, the plastic coating on the paddle has started to fray, and I think it's because it's hitting the hard plastic of the kayak. So that's kind of unfortunate. They still paddle great, they go together and come apart super easy. So I think I might take some, I don't know, maybe electrical tape and try to wrap it around these frayed pieces. But now, like I said, it's been 3 years I've been using this paddle, so I guess maybe that's to be expected, but I think I can salvage it. So I'll let you know what I come up with. So one of the really interesting things about the bay are the horseshoe crabs. They have been around for, I don't know, maybe millions of years. They're a fascinating creature. And they're filled, the bays are just filled with them, but so often you see the shells and they die on the shore. And of course, you know, they're giving nutrients to birds and things like that, but you just see so many dead ones, you wonder how they survive. They're everywhere. Sometimes you can see they're still moving. You can right them and put them in the water. They're perfectly harmless. They don't hurt people. But yeah, they're just everywhere here, as you can see. Hey guys, so I want to show you this. This is a horseshoe crab. And if you ever pick up a horseshoe crab, you want to make sure that you do not pick them up by their tail. They use this to right themselves a lot of the time. And they are, you know, scary looking, but these pinchers don't have any like, I don't know, serrated teeth or anything, so they can't really hurt you. And let's flip this guy over. I don't want to disturb him for too long, but they have this big, heavy shell. And then you'll see they have barnacles and things on them. So let's put this guy back so I don't disturb him. There we go. All right, so he's perfectly happy back in the water. Whenever I kayak here by Burton's Island, my favorite thing to do is to go down by the Indian River Inlet Bridge, and there's this cove down here. And the water is often so calm. A lot of times you can see cormorants and things like that. And then you just have this beautiful view of the Indian River Inlet Bridge. I think it is so easy when we have these heat waves and things to talk yourself out of getting outside. You know, it's easy to say, oh, I don't want to go out in this, I don't want to do anything. But if you're like me, after a couple days, you just start to go crazy and you basically have to get out no matter what. And I guess this is just your little reminder to, if you can, if your schedule is flexible, get yourself out in the early morning or towards the end of the day and, you know, try to find activities that are going to, I don't know, make things not as bad in the heat. Maybe there's a shady trail. Maybe you can hike to a waterfall. Maybe you can kayak in a bay like this. The water does really cool you off. There's a nice little breeze, so it's not unbearable out here yet. And like I mentioned, I got up at 6 to get down here, so an early morning start really makes all the difference. And I know that I'm just gonna feel so much better today, even when it gets 93 later, because I got out and I did something. So we've got a cormorant there on the one post, and then there's some additional cormorants over there. So I think the bird with the orange beak is an oyster catcher that we have over there. Of course, we have some more laughing gulls. But I'm really glad I came around to the other side of the pier to get this one of these mornings where it's absolutely perfect conditions for taking photographs and things from the kayak. The water is so calm, you can kind of just sit and float in one place. So I've been able to get some nice photographs and some different wildlife and things. I thought about going all the way around the islands, but I see a couple herons up here. So I think I'm actually gonna double back the way I came so I can try to photograph some herons for you. But that is one of the things I just love about kayaking so much, is that you really can get close to places in nature that maybe you wouldn't be able to get to on land. Like did a good job of scaring the heron away. I think I got some footage on my reel camera, but we're at the point now where I'm almost back where we launched, and I'm gonna go back in. But thank you so much for coming along with me today. I hope you like seeing what it's like to paddle here along the Marshy Islands in the Bay in Delaware Seashore State Park. I absolutely love it here. If you don't have a kayak of your own and you're coming down here, there are a few local companies. I believe one of them is Coastal Kayak, and then I also think the state park, if you go on Delaware Seashore State Park, I believe they have some programs where you can pay and they'll take you out in a kayak and things like that. So definitely look into it. It is such a unique environment out here. There's so much to see. It's definitely one of my personal favorite places to paddle, and when you come on a calm day, you're sheltered by the islands, and it really is easy paddling, wonderful to take nature photography, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is how I use my Tucktec folding kayak. This is one of the places I take it all the time. Anyway, this is one of the places I love to take my Tucktec folding kayak. So this is my Pro model. I've had this one for about 9 months now. Totally happy with it, love it, have no issues. Still folds great, as I showed you in the beginning of the video. Very minimal scratches on the bottom, but thanks for coming along, guys. See ya, bye.